Hi everyone, this is Anne-Marie from Alma Surfside Jewelry. Thank you so much for joining me for another beading tutorial today. For those of you who don't know me, I have an Etsy shop where I sell handmade surf and beach-inspired jewelry, and the name of my shop is Alma Surfside. And I also have an Instagram account, which is Alma Surfside 7. So be sure to check out those links in the description box down below. So for today's beading tutorial, we're going to be going over this design here, which could be made into a pendant or a pair of earrings, depending on what you feel like making today. And it features a twin 2-hole bead in the center of the design. Okay. So in terms of beading materials, what you're going to need for this project is Fireline. And I always use 6 pound or 0.006, and this is from the Bugle brand. In the first pile there on the far left-hand side of my mat are 11/0 seed beads, and I always use Toho seed beads for my projects. Okay, so these are galvanized silver. That's what they look like. In the next pile there on my mat are more 11/0s, and these are in neon CARN, which I believe is carnation, and they're clear lined. Okay, so that's what they look like. And I believe these are newer to the Toho collection, or at least new to the bead shop where I shop for Toho beads. Okay, so I've really enjoyed working with those. And in the next pile there, the third pile, are 15/0 seed beads, and these are in the same tone as the first pile, so galvanized silver or aluminum. And in the very last pile there on the far right-hand side are check number 2 bugle beads, and these are clear silver lined. Okay. I don't have a tag for these, but of course the twin 2-hole beads are there on my mat, and the color for these are pink silver lined. Okay. So of course if you're doing a pendant, you just need one of them, and if you're doing a pair of earrings, you'll need 2. If you've decided to make a pendant, you'll need a jump ring, and this is a stainless steel jump ring. And for the earrings, if that's what you want to make today, you'll need a pair of earring hooks. Okay. Besides those, you'll also need a pair of scissors in order to cut your Fireline as you're working. And it's also good to have flat nose pliers on hand so that you can work with the jump rings or the earring hooks at the very end of the project. And of course, you'll need a beading needle attached to your Fireline. Okay, so go ahead and gather all of your materials and let's get started. Okay, so to get started on my project, I'm going to go ahead and pick up a twin 2-hole bead, as I mentioned at the top of the video, and I'm going to push that down on my Fireline. And I don't need much of a tail, so just, a few centimeters. And so I'm coming out of one of the holes there at the top, and I'm going to insert my needle into the very next hole. Okay, and the idea here is that we have both threads on the same side of the twin 2-hole bead. And then I can tie at least 2 or 3 knots on this side. Okay, and then I'll be able to get rid of my tail. So that's 1 knot. Two, and we'll do 1 more. 3. Okay, so that should be nice and secure. And then what I can do is get my scissors and just cut off the tail there. Okay, and I'll put that aside. Okay, so the knot should be in the center there of your twin 2-hole bead. And then you're going to go down one of the holes, it doesn't matter which one, and pull on your thread. Okay. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and pick up 3 of my 11/0s in galvanized silver. And I'm going to go through the opposite hole. Okay, so my thread's coming out of the left, and I'm going to go down the hole on the right there, and pull on my thread. Okay, so you should have, a little arch there at the top of your twin 2-hole bead. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So go ahead and pick up 3 more of your 11/0s in the same color. Okay, And now we're going to go up the hole there on the right, this one here. Okay, and pull on your thread. Okay, so you want to have 3 11-0s at the top of your twin 2-hole bead and 3 at the bottom. Okay, and now I can pick up one of my neon pink seed beads, as well as a 15-0 in galvanized silver and another pink 11-0. Okay, so 3 beads there on your needle. And you're going to go through the opposite hole of the twin 2-hole bead. Okay, so right there. And that just attaches those 3 beads on the outside of your shape. Okay. And what we can do is go down the next hole of the twin 2-hole to get over to the other side. Okay, so we're coming out here at the top, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up another 11-0 in pink, a 15-0 in silver, and another 11-0 in pink. Okay, so 3 beads on your needle, and you're going to go through the opposite side of the twin 2-hole bead right there, and pull in your thread. Okay, so that's the basic shape that you want to have at this point. 3 beads on each side of the twin 2-hole bead in the center. And now we're going to go through the very first silver seed bead in 11-0. And I'm going to pick up a 15-0. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the 11-0 seed bead. Okay, so that it attaches on the outside of my shape. Now I'm going to insert my needle into the very next 11-0 in silver. Make sure you pull tight each time so that nothing is loose. And you're going to go ahead and get another 15-0 in silver. And you're going to go through the opposite side of the silver bead in the center. Okay, we'll repeat that step by going through the next bead. And I'm going to pick up another 15-0 in silver. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of that bead, right there. Okay, so at this point you want to have 3 small 15-0s on the outside of your shape. And then we're going to put our needle through the pink bead, as well as a small 15-0 in silver. Okay, I'm going to pick up another 15-0. I'm going to go through the opposite side of the previous bead, right there. Okay, insert my needle through the 15-0 that's right above it. And now I'm going to pick up 2 more 15-0s and go through the opposite side of that bead. So right there. And pull on my thread. Okay, so that's what you want to have at the top of your shape. And then we can go back through the 15-0 right below and pull on our thread. Okay, I'm going to continue through the next 2 11-0s, so the pink and the silver. And now I'm going to repeat the exact same thing that I did on the other side. So pick up a 15-0 in silver, go through the opposite side of the first silver 11-0, and pull on your thread. Do the exact same thing in the next bead, so go through the 11-0. Okay, now you can pick up a 15-0 in silver and go through the opposite side of that bead, so right there. Go through the next 11-0 in silver. And again, you're going to pick up a 15-0. Go through the opposite side of that bead. And this time you can also carry on through the pink bead. Okay, so that's the shape that you should have at this point. And now I'm going to go through the 15-0 sitting right beside it. I'm going to pick up one 15-0, go through the opposite side of the previous bead, pull on my thread, go through the one sitting right on top. Okay, I'm going to pick up two more 15-0s. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the bead that I'm exiting. Okay. Now you can insert your needle into the small 15-0 that's on the right hand side. And you're going to put it through the next 15-0 right beside it. Okay, so going down in this direction. Okay, so that's the basic inside part of this design. I know that it's, it takes quite a few steps to get to this point, but the rest is going to be really quick. Okay, so let me show you what to do. You're going to pick up your check number 2 bugle bead, and you should be coming out of the small 15-0 here on the right hand side, and you're going to go through the very first 15-0 that you see there on the right hand side of your shape and pull on your thread. Okay, so you can see how the design is coming together. Now we have an empty gap, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up a 15-0 in silver, and I'm going to go through the very next bead. There we go. So that filled in the gap. Now there's another gap, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up another 15-0 in silver, and I'm going to go through the next 15-0. Okay, so this one right here. Okay, now what we need to do is pick up a check number 2 bugle bead, and we're going to go up the first bead there, the 15-0 at the top of the shape on the right hand side. Okay, so half of our design is done, and we need to repeat the same thing on the other side. So go down the 15-0 on the other side there. And we're going to pick up a check number 2 bugle bead, go through our first 15-0, okay, we have a gap, so we're going to need another 15-0, there we go. Okay, there's another gap, so I'm going to pick up another 15-0 and go through the next bead. And finally, we have a large space where there should be a bugle bead. So I picked up my last check number 2 bugle, and I'm going to go through the next 15-0 up here. Okay, so that's our basic design. It's complete, and to make it a little bit stiffer and stronger, I'm just going to go around the outside of the shape another time, because I'm using such a small fire line, 6 pounds, so it's not going to fill up a lot of the space, in each bead. So I want to go through that again all the way around. Just making sure everything is nice and snug and that it holds. There we go, and now I'm back at the top, so I'll go through the next 2 beads. Okay, so now that I'm exiting the top of my design here, I've gone through the 250 nose sitting there at the top. I'm ready to create the closure. So to do that, I'm going to pick up a total of 4 50 nose in silver. And I'm going to go through the opposite side of the 2 beads here. Okay, those 2. And I pull on my thread. Okay. And then to reinforce that closure circle, you're going to go through all of the beads that you just added on. And back down the 2 50 nose there at the bottom. Okay, you can prop up the circle there. And then you can go through the bugle bead down here. And tie off a knot by going on the inside of your shape and going through the knot there. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of knots at this point and then I'll cut off my thread. And then I should be good to go. Okay, so I take my scissors and cut off the thread here. Okay, put that down on my mat. And for the earrings, I'm going to pick up an earring hook and open it up here with my pliers and insert it through that circle that I just created. There we go. And then I can close up that earring hook by bending the metal. There we go, it looks pretty tight. Okay, so that's my first earring. And then I'll grab the other one, open up the hook. Okay, insert my other piece. And then I'll close it back up. There we go. Okay, it looks nice and snug now. So there you have it. That's the very simple earring design that I came up with, featuring the twin 2-hole beads there in the center. And you could definitely make them longer. So if you want to repeat the design, you know, I would just do a simple connector at the bottom and then keep going with the same pattern. Okay. But I thought I would do a nice short project for you guys. And I think that the results are really good. It's very feminine and elegant with the silver and pink together. And of course you could play around with the color combinations, working with different twin 2-hole beads and different colors of bugle beads. I think that would be really interesting. Okay, so anyways, thank you so much for watching this tutorial today. And if you haven't already done so, please take a minute to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you need any beading supplies, I normally include Amazon affiliate links in the description box. So be sure to check those links out if you're looking for any supplies. And yeah, that's it. So thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you in the next beading tutorial. Okay, take care. Bye for now.